It is Kieran Trippier. It is delicious! Glorious! Glorious!
Walker in there too. Luke Shaw! Harry Kane wants it played into him. He chooses Grealish instead. It's Grealish. It's Kane! Nothing like this has happened for a long time. Here's the overhead kick from Kane. Palmer finds Watkins. Watkins turns! Watkins scores!
Hello, and welcome back to the Gate 102 podcast. I hope you're doing well, and as always, thank you for tuning in. It really is always appreciated. In the last episode, I covered England's third place playoff game against Switzerland in the Nations League. It involved another penalty shootout win, Jordan Pickford once again being the saviour, this time scoring and saving a penalty. And yeah, ultimately it was a really good end to the season. And a reminder, that game is available wherever you get your podcasts to listen back to or to catch up on. But today we move forward to the Euro 2020 qualification campaign, as I'll be talking about the home game against Bulgaria in September 2019, which was held at Wembley Stadium. Now, by this point, England had already made a solid start in qualification. Wins against the Czech Republic and Montenegro earlier on in the year, and they were top of their group by some distance. And this was a game that England were obviously expected to get the win and score loads of goals, keep a clean sheet. I mean, going into this game, England had never lost against Bulgaria across 10 occasions, so that speaks a lot, I think. Let's go with the team then. Gareth Southgate went with a familiar setup, 4-3-3 formation. Jordan Pickford retained his place in goal. The back four was Kieran Trippier at right back, Michael Keane and Harry Maguire in the centre, Danny Rose at left back. In midfield, it was a strong trio, a trio that was coming quite familiar at this rate. Declan Rice, Jordan Henderson and Ross Barkley. Obviously, Declan Rice playing slightly deeper to the other two. And up top, it was Raheem Sterling on the right, Marcus Rashford on the left, and that was supported by Harry Kane, who was leading the line up front. I just want to touch on that front three, Sterling, Rashford and Kane. That had been the front three for quite a lot of games now, and the three of them had, I think, become more familiar playing together. I think at this point, the three of them worked together really well and had a good understanding as a trio. And I love the way the three of them worked together. You had obviously Kane coming deep with Sterling and Rashford running in behind, using the pace. I think it worked really well, not only in this game, but previous games as well. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but onto the game itself. If I'm honest, England started a little slowly. And sometimes you do get this in games like this. It can take you a few minutes just to get a feel for the game and how it's going to go. I mean, everyone was expecting England to come out on top eventually, but yeah, the first opening few minutes were a bit flat, really. Bulgaria actually had a decent chance within the first 10 minutes, forcing Pickford into a low save, and that came from a quick counter-attack after England lost the ball in midfield. I think it was just a little warning sign early on that, you know, these games aren't always this easy as people make it out to be. But gradually, as the first half went on, England settled, they found the rhythm, and they really started to push Bulgaria back a bit more. But, you know, to Bulgaria's credit, they actually came out the blocks a lot faster than we thought. I think, you know, they didn't sit deep all game. The opening 10 minutes, they really went at England, but like I say, gradually England got a foothold of the game and managed to get control. But 18 minutes in, and England thought they had the lead. Harry Kane had the ball in the net, but it was given as offside. And to be fair, it was probably the correct decision. We sometimes debate these decisions, but it was given offside, and no need for VAR really. You sort of knew it was offside. So that was disappointing, but it showed that England were finally managing to get in behind the Bulgarian defence and unlock that sort of stubbornness. But England did manage to get their goal. The breakthrough came in the 24th minute, and this time it did count. Harry Kane scored the goal. I mean, it was a gift, really. Bulgaria tried to play out from the back, but yeah, made an absolute mess of it, really. Their goalkeeper played a risky short pass, which was quickly closed down, and Sterling launched onto it, squared it to Kane, and yeah, the captain made no mistake. 1-0 England, and I mean, it's one of the easiest goals Kane will score for England under Southgate, but still great to see England pressing high up the pitch, even though it was a poor mistake from the opposition defence. Still, the attack deserved credit for the way they pressed, and yeah, England were 1-0 up, and from then on it was just one-way traffic, really. England were totally dominating the game, and I thought Sterling in particular looked really sharp, cutting inside, testing the fullback with quick feet. And there was a moment just before the half-hour mark where he beat two players and forced a decent save from the goalie. And same with Rashford, who was also seeing a lot of the ball on the left, using his pace to stretch Bulgaria's back line. I think this is needed in these games when you've got a team who like to sit deep. Having wingers who will sort of make the pitch wide, stretch the defence out, and sort of hold the width and run at players is something that really makes a difference. And both the wingers were really influential. But England had lots of great chances in the first half. 9 shots they had in total. And you knew the second goal was coming, but yeah, England went into the break just 1-0 up, despite having nearly 70% possession. And yeah, it should have been more, really. But the second half, though, England really took it up a notch. Within minutes of the restart, England won a penalty. Rashford twisted and turned in the box and was brought down with a clumsy challenge. Yeah, no hesitation from the referee. He instantly pointed at the spot. And yeah, Harry Kane did what Harry Kane does, and yeah, buried the penalty. 2-0 to England, doubled their lead, and yeah, the captain was on a hat-trick with over 40 minutes left to play. And at this point, when you get that second goal, it's almost like the game's done, even though there's still 40 minutes left to play. You knew there's no way Bulgaria were gonna get back in the game after Kane scored that penalty. But one thing that did impress me in this game was how close the midfield were to the attack. I thought players like Henderson and Barkley were picking up great pockets of space, and kept feeding great through balls and passes to the front three. And it was so great to see such great cohesion and flow in the attack. I've talked a lot about the front three, but England's third goal came from all three of them linking up. It was definitely our best move for the match. Around the half-hour mark, around the hour mark, should I say, a slick passing sequence through midfield. So Rashford threaded ball wide to Kane. Then Kane, he could have had a shot to Kane, but he crossed it in. And Sterling was there, right place, right time, and slotted it home to make it 3-0. And yeah, just so great to see the front three linking up like that. But yeah, and another goal for Sterling as well. And a stat I found earlier that after Sterling scored the third goal of this game, it meant he'd been directly involved in 9 goals in his last 7 appearances for England. 7 goals and 2 assists. And that's as many goal involvements as he registered in his previous 33. So just so good to see him being unleashed and playing with such freedom and such confidence on an individual level. But sometimes when you're 3-0 up with not much time left, it can be easy to almost lower the gear a bit, maybe ease off the gas, not go for it as much. But no, England were dominant, constantly wanting more, aiming to further enhance their lead. And yeah, Harry Kane wasn't done. Around the 73rd minute, he was brought down again in the box. Another clear penalty. And yeah, Kane stepped up. Same result. hat-trick complete. And yeah, a classic number 9 performance, really. His pressing was brilliant, his hold-up play was brilliant, and he scored a hat-trick. So yeah, fantastic to see. 4-0 England, and the game was well and truly sealed now. And this was Kane's 25th goal for England, which was fantastic, and was also his second England hat-trick. The first one came against Panama in the World Cup 2018. And it was an important one as well, because Kane had only scored 3 goals in his last 12 appearances for his country before this game. So not out of form, but he maybe wasn't hitting the numbers that he's used to. But nice to see him back scoring with a hat-trick, and yeah, putting Bulgaria to bed. But with the game won at 4-0 and with still a few minutes left to play, Gareth used a chance to bring on a few subs. Mason Mount made his debut in this game, which was a big moment for him. And there was also a late run out for Jadon Sancho, who was also gradually being introduced into the international fold. But yeah, both players looked bright. Mason Mount in particular looked really composed on the ball, linking nicely with Declan Rice, who he obviously had a good understanding, having grown up together as close friends. And it was great to see another attacking midfielder coming through. He'd just come off the back of a great season for Derby and was starting to make his way into the Chelsea side. So good to see him given his debut. But yeah, all in all, it was a really assured and comfortable performance, and it equalled the result last time England played Bulgaria at Wembley, which was back in September 2010, so 9 years prior to this game. And that was when Jermaine Defoe scored a hat-trick, and that was also a European qualifying game. In terms of the standouts, Kane, obviously with the hat-trick, has to be mentioned. Both wingers, Sterling and Rashford, were immense, but I thought Henderson was also excellent, covering lots of ground, making intelligent passes, and just leading by example. A typical Jordan Henderson performance, really. But one player who I thought went under the radar a bit was Michael Keane. He had a really solid game at the back. He won his aerial duels, played really calmly under pressure, composed on the ball, and yeah, played well alongside Maguire as well. And if I'm honest, at this point, he was becoming quite a key player for England and was starting in quite a lot of games. Obviously, that didn't last too much longer, as he was unlucky with injuries and other defenders emerged on the scene, but he was performing well at the time for both club and country. So yeah, I remember thinking after this game, if there was a tournament starting the next day, he'd be starting. So yeah, a really impressive performance from the Everton centre-back. But yeah, a comfortable 4-0 win. 3 more points towards qualification. The only real negative was maybe the slow start, but once England found the rhythm, there was only one team in it. Another thing worth mentioning is Kieran Trippier. He joined Atletico Madrid in the summer, so a few months before this game, and he became the first player representing a Spanish club to play for the England team with David Beckham in June 2007. He was playing for Real Madrid at the time. So that was another interesting stat I found that I thought I should add in. So yeah, I suppose a milestone hit for Kane Trippier for this game as well. That's all for this episode. I'll be back again soon to cover England's next qualifier, which was a 5-3 win against Kosovo. Don't get many of them, 5-3. And that was played at St Mary's Stadium, which is home of Southampton. So that's my next episode, and that's what's coming next week. But until then, look after yourselves, and hope you have a good rest of the weekend. And yeah, see you soon.